She got paid extra for it. She got paid for 3.5 hours to take minutes in that meeting. Nancy took minutes on June 7, 2008 for the police interview for 8 hours. Nancy took minutes on May 15, 2007. Nancy took minutes on November 21st, 2006. Just a minute.
But I'm
Just a
confused
minute.
about
Let me
what we're
finish.
talking about, though.
Nancy's perfectly capable of taking minutes. These minutes are all acceptable. She took these minutes. She took minutes over 7 different times. Why does she have to have somebody?
Bill, there is a difference between taking minutes and participating in a meeting and taking minutes at the same time.
Excuse me. We have a video. We have a CD. She can sit and listen to the CD all day long and take notes from the minutes, from the CD, and put them on there.
I have a comment if I can. My understanding is that the village clerk makes $12,000 for this position.
That's correct.
Okay. That's basically, I mean, my understanding of the clerk's job, besides attending the village meeting and maybe taking the notes depending upon the meeting minutes, depending upon what happens here tonight. It also is keeping the record of the resolutions and the ordinances, and then sending those to Lake County. And much more than that, there's not a whole heck of a lot that the village clerk does. This is my understanding. Maybe people will clarify this and tell me there's more to it.
Yes,
That-
Eileen.
That's about what the village clerk, their official duties are. Which means to me that the village clerk is basically getting $500 per meeting to come to a village meeting. We have 2 meetings a month. They're getting $500 to come to each one of those meetings. If we take away that principal job from the village clerk, it seems to me that there's something wrong with this system. We're now paying $500 for someone to mail our ordinances and our resolutions to Lake County for recording and then going to Sterling Conifer's to, get them in the publication that ultimately is published. As I indicated last time at the meeting, when we talked about going out and trying to find out whether or not there is someone available to do this, this doesn't appear to be a challenging job, taking the minutes for a meeting. It doesn't appear to me to be, unless there is some disability, which I think I indicated last time, if there's some disability that we're dealing with.
May I?
Yeah,
You know, the paying of the clerk was instituted after I had been here many, many years.
right.
I didn't get anything.
We owe you some back
Decided
now.
the clerks should get paid, and then they picked up this fancy sum, and that was 4 years ago that it started.
Right.
But the clerk, if she really does her job, does a lot more than take minutes.
Okay. What else does the clerk? What's the official duties?
We get all kinds of correspondence, and this rule has to be sent here, and this has to be sent there. When I set up the files, I'll murder anybody that messes them. But there are a lot of things that the clerk does besides taking minutes.
Okay. Well, again, I said that what I know that the clerk does, from my experience sitting for a long time, and I've been here for a long time in various boards, I always saw you record the resolutions, record the ordinances, and then I know that you had to send those out to Lake County to make sure that they get published. The official type duties. More than that, I didn't really know exactly what the clerk did. And certainly a key.
I don't have a list off.
Okay, but certainly a key
There are a
component.
number of things, Mike, that go besides the minutes.
Okay, but certainly a key component of the job was to take the minutes of the meeting. So, in any event, if there's a reason, if there's something to have this request before the clerk has even attempted to take one set of meeting minutes, just seems a bit strange to me. I mean, we haven't even had an opportunity to see if we can get good minutes. Now, I'm not hoping that Nancy would I'm not even suggesting that Nancy would throw the job and take, specifically take poor minutes. I'm sure she wouldn't do that. But shouldn't we see how the minutes go for a few months before we make the quantum leap that Nancy is not going to be able to take good quality minutes?
But Mark, that's what Kaplan just read to us.
I know, it seems like she's taking good minutes in the past.
Seems capable.
Maybe that's old news, maybe there's gonna be a problem, okay? But let's see if there's a problem before we have a solution to the problem. We don't know if there's even an issue here. And to jump to this today, when Nancy hasn't taken one set of minutes, it just is surprising to me and makes the whole request very suspicious from my standpoint. I don't understand why someone would make that request before they've even attempted to fulfill that which I believe everyone pretty much assumed was part of the job. Okay?
I never assumed that. I mean, what I did was I went to look at our ordinance.
Did Nancy not assume it? Did Nancy assume she wasn't going to take minutes?
Yes.
I never made the assumption that you're making. And, and frankly, I never really thought about the village clerk's job and what duties were until people started talking about this topic. So I went to the code to look to see what the duties of the village clerk were, and I also went to several other places to see how they described it. And our code says that the clerk keeps the minutes, and there are quite a few others where they actually take the minutes, where it specifically says that the clerk takes the minutes. My understanding is, at least in our area, most of the village clerks do not actually take the minutes, they keep the minutes.
Right.
And
You're talking
they,
about much larger villages than this. And keeping, she keeps the minutes, so that means that she has a drawer in her desk where the minutes go, and now she keeps those. And that's the role of the village clerk. Come on, Cheryl. That's a semantic argument. I don't believe that there's anything that was intentional in the statute. I've never looked at the annotations, but I don't think you'll find an annotation that will interpret what take and keep is for purposes of that statute.
Michael?
That's a
for
convenient.
purposes of
It's
this
a convenient argument.
With all due respect, Michael,
I disagree.
right back at you. The problem with saying, gee, let's have Nancy take minutes for a meeting or 2 meetings or 4 meetings or 6 meetings or 8 meetings, is that the minutes of these board meetings need to be correct and specific.
And we all correct them. And we
They-
all,
Michael, they need to be, they need to be of a professional level. And we've already had one case where we were sued and the minutes were not correct and didn't back us up. And yes, we were fortunate, we had terrific legal representation and we won the case. However, I know I was real nervous going into Waukegan in that courtroom because I did not have minutes to back me up, and the minutes were so confused and wrapped around themselves that we couldn't prove anything from the
but
minutes.
Nancy's minutes aren't that way. The minutes that,
When Nancy was
the
taking minutes before, she was not paying attention to what was going on. She was not participating in the meeting. It's like asking a lecturer to lecture and write notes at the same time.
the participation that the clerk has to have in the meeting is merely to listen to a vote. The clerk doesn't participate in the governance
No, but
of
she
the meeting.
records.
All she does is record yay or nay. That is not participating in the meeting. That's a clerical function. To suggest that you can't do a clerical function at the same time that you take minutes, that you're somehow, you can't be organized and you're going to be distracted because at some point in time you're going to count the number of votes. That's not a realistic
Nancy
suggestion.
made it abundantly clear when she ran for clerk that we have had someone taking minutes, that she did not feel she was capable of taking
Wouldn't
minutes.
you make that abundantly clear too?
The audience, when
What
I was
what
there, I
audience?
sat at the interviews at the